Hey guys, welcome back to another video on this channel, and this is the series where I show you how to create an expert advisor that actually trades a portfolio. So multiple strategies in multiple markets, all in one EA, so you can test it all together in the MetaTrader 5. In the first part of the series, we just wrote the easy program that creates this expert advisor that trades crossing moving averages, so not a lot to say about this. In this video, I will show you how to actually rewrite the EA, so you can do this for not only one symbol, but two symbols, like Euro US dollar and US dollar Japanese yen in the same time, in the same test run. So what we have to do, or what we could do, is we could take this code that we have here right now. I mean, this is not a lot of code. We could take this and we could select this, copy this, select this, copy this, select this, copy this, select, copy this. So we could multiply everything 2 times. And we could write everything just twice in the same expert advisor. It would work. I mean, we could exchange the symbol here. We could write Euro US dollar for one part and USD Japanese yen for the other part. But it's not like a smart solution, I would say. Because if we, for example, copy all of this, like put it here, and just do this here for USD Japanese yen and here for Euro US dollar. I mean, it's possible. It's a way to solve this problem, but it's not really a smart way. So whenever you want to do pretty much the same task, and in the end it is the same task, we want to test the same strategy just for 2 symbols. So if you have the same task multiple times, it will always make sense to outsource it, if you want to say so, to another function or to another data structure. And this is where data structure is for. So in this video, we will create objects, or we will create a new class first, which is the class for the strategy. And then we will pretty much just call or create 2 objects of this class and call some functions of these objects. So this is a little bit complex. I will try to explain 1 or 2 things, but if you want to really understand how working with object works, like object-oriented programming is a huge topic in programming in general, and also in MetaTrader 5 programming, you can check out the link below this video. You will find a link to the MetaTrader 5 masterclass, which is my complete course where I explain everything like in absolute detail for absolute beginners, so you do not miss anything. Okay, so I will try to show it to you like as easy as possible. So I think one of the easiest ways to achieve what we want to do here is just wrap everything you have here into a class. So what I can do is I can go to the very top here, I can write class, and then I choose a name for my class, like moving average strategy, something like this. And then I say this inherits from the C object class, and then I open these curly brackets, and then I go to the very bottom of my code and close these curly brackets, and then I take everything in between and move it to the right. So this will create a class which is named C moving average strategy, and this inherits from C object. So I cannot explain, or I will not explain everything in this video tutorial, like why we do stuff like this. I mean, I never talked about object-oriented programming here, and I'm aware of this. So this is why I say this is a little bit advanced programmers. So you should have heard the term object-oriented programming before. You should maybe know what inheritance is and stuff before you can watch this or understand this. But again, if you want to learn more, just check out the link to the MetaTrader 5 masterclass. So now we get several issues. And one of the issues is that we have these input variables, and we cannot have input variables here for a class, because input variables can only be declared on a global scale. So we will have to remove all of these inputs here. And there's another way how we can fix this. So we could still say that these are input variables, and we could say something like we create a constructor for this class, and the constructor is C moving average strategy, of course, and then we have different variables. So we can just say lots input, I don't know, or input lots. We will just create different variables here. Oh, wait, let's do it like this. So, I mean, this is a small letter L, and this is capital letter L, so it's not the same variable anyways. And then I will just create variables for all of the inputs that we had before. MA1 period, MA1 method. Oh, wait, shouldn't forget the type here. MA enum, MA method, MA1 method, then we have int MA2 period, and enum MA method, like this, MA2 method. Something like this. And then inside of the body of the constructor, we can just say we want to initialize all of our input variables, which are no longer input variables technically, but I mean, we can still use them like input variables if we do it like this. I will explain this, or I will show how we can do this later on. So TP points will be initialized with the value of this TP points variable, same for SL points. Same for MA1 period, MA1 period, MA1 period, MA1 method, MA1 method, MA2 period, MA2 period, MA2 method, MA2 method. So what we are doing here is we created this constructor for the C-moving average strategy class, and this constructor has all of these parameters here. This is the complete parameter list, and all of these parameters pretty much are just there to initialize our variables that were input variables before, but now they are just variables. So we could yeah, these are just variables. Also, we should make sure that these, or we could make sure that these are private variables. This should be public, I think. And if we compile this, this is also private. It should work like this. There's a problem. Oh yeah, of course. And in a class, we cannot have default values for our variables. So we will have to delete these values. I mean, we could place it here like 0.01, and we could have default values here, but I will not do it for this program. So if we compile this now, you can see there are still problems. I think it's probably that there's a semicolon missing. And now it says there are no event handling functions. Okay, but this is another problem. We can create the onTick function here again, and now this error is gone. So what we have here is now we have pretty much the same code, but now everything is wrapped in this C moving average strategy class. And we didn't really change anything yet. The only thing that I added is the constructor here, and this is the C moving average strategy constructor, which has all of these parameters, which were the input variables before. And now we use these parameters to initialize our variables here, which are now member variables of the C moving average strategy class, but we initialize them in the constructor. And what we want to do next is we want to take these functions, and the functions will still be here. We have to make them public so we can access them from outside the class. And now we will say on init event. I would not choose the same names as the default names for these functions because it can cause confusion. But if we do it like this, we now have these three functions: on init event, on tick event, and on dinit event. And what we can do here is we will still have the normal the normal functions. Return on init. Oh wait, init succeeded, and we will have void on dinit constant int reason. So I'm just creating the normal event handlers here again. So yeah, now we have this class, and what we can do now is we can create a object variable of type C moving average strategy. So we can say strategy 1 like this, and this will not work because we did not initialize the object here. So what we have to do is we have to say, or we can just add the parameters here. So we can say lots is 0.1, then we have the TP points 1000, SL points 1000, MA1 period is 20, then we have the mode EMA, then we have the second, which is 100, and mode SMA. So like this. So if you do it like this and compile it, it now works. So now we can just use this thread1 object and call the onInit event in the onInit function. We call the onDinit event in the onDinit function, and we call the onTick event in the onTick function. So if we run up, from blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, we can have the reason here. And if we run the program again now, so I will just run this same program again in the strategy tester, we should see the same result because we didn't actually change the code, right? We just restructured it a bit. So you can see there are still trades done. And even though the code looks a little bit different, I mean, the result is the same, right? Because we didn't actually change anything. So what I did is I just created this class, the C moving average strategy class, but the name doesn't matter. You can choose any name. And I've wrapped all of the code that we had before inside, in the curly brackets of this class. And I mean, we don't even need the inheritance here right now. This is for the next step. So we could also do it like this. And then, we kind of just added this constructor here because we have to initialize these what were former input variables, which are now just member variables of the class. So we need a lot of parameters for the constructor, and then we can initialize all of these variables, and then the rest of the code is completely the same. Like all of these functions, they still exist, and like the onInit event is still here, the onDinit event is still here, the onTick event is still here, but everything now happens on a different scale, like on the scale of this class or on the scale of the object if we create one later on. And then the rest is completely the same. So this is like the easiest way to wrap your existing strategy in a class. And now the good thing is, since we have this class now, this class works as a template pretty much for the strategy. So I could now create the same thing. So I can just copy this line and I can create the same strategy again. I can do this for USD Japanese yen now. The thing is, I have to rename this. But if I do it like this, I could call this. I could also call this here, like onInit event, strategy 2, onDinit event, reason, and strategy 2 onTick event. So what happens if I test the program now again? So let me do the same test again. And you will see there's a difference now. Because every time there's an order, it does not only place one order, it places two instead. Because I just copied the strategy. So everything that I'm doing, it is just executed twice now. So you can see also the graph, it will just have, like, it looks the same, but where we saw one trade before, we now always see two trades. And this is the first step that we need to do to get to our desired end result. So what we want to do now is we want to modify the strategy just a little bit more. Maybe create two more variables in the list here for the constructor. So what we will add is we will add the first, which is the symbol, and the second we can also, for example, make the time frame a parameter for the constructor here. Now we of course have to create the variables here. Oh, this is a little bit blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we could say pair. I mean, it doesn't really matter, just the variable for the symbol that we want to trade, so the name doesn't really matter. And then we have enum timeframes, time frame, like this. And now we of course have to initialize these two variables. So we say pair is equal to pair, whoops, like this. And then we have time frame is equal to time frame, like this. And now we go ahead into all of our functions, and we have to exchange all of these symbols with the variable that we just created for this pair, and all of this period current with time frame. So we have pair and time frame now instead of symbol and period current. Pair time frame, because this will make it so it will only trade the pair that we define as a parameter for the constructor there, right? So, oh, there are more things that we have to change. I will get to this in a second. Yeah, change everything here. So what else we have to change is we cannot, oh wait. Yeah, let's first of all exchange all of these symbols with pair. Also do it here, of course, for the buy and sell function. And then we also have the digit and point problem, because Euro US dollar has 5 digits and USD Japanese yen has only 3 digits. So we only always have to take care of this also. So what we can do is we can just go ahead and, for example, here create a variable for point, and we can say symbol info double, and then we say pair and symbol point, and we say int digits, and then we say symbol info integer, and then we say pair and symbol digits, like this, and then we can just exchange this with digits and point, like, because if we use underscore digits, it always uses the digits or point value or whatever of the chart where the program is attached to, and in this case, since we write a multi-currency program, we cannot do this. So we have to exchange one or two things here, and since we did this now, and if we compile, we will get an error, of course, because we have to change enum time frames like this, and we will get an error because it now requests more parameters here. So we have to define the pair, for example, Euro US dollar, period current, can say like this, doesn't really matter, and then we have USD Japanese yen and period current. So if we do it like this, and if we compile, I don't change anything else, so the rest stays the same. We still have thread 1 on init event, thread 2 on init event. Oh wait, there's a problem. It should say on init event. And yeah. So if we compile this again, and if I run the same test again, you will see now that instead of opening 2 Euro US dollar trades, we will open a Euro US dollar trade if there's a crossover. And we also have the second window here where we check the USD Japanese yen crossovers. So now we have two strategies that were completely separated from each other. So you can see there was a Euro US dollar crossover here. There is the buy trade, but there's no US dollar Japanese yen trade, because the USD Japanese yen trade, it will only happen if there's a USD Japanese yen signal. I don't know if this is working correct here. Yeah, okay, there is a USD Japanese yen signal and we see the trade, so everything seems to work. I don't really understand why we did not see another Euro US dollar trade here. But I mean, in general, it should work because now it's doing sell trades in Euro US dollar. Wait, let me check another. There is a sell trade. So yeah, so you can see we now do Euro US dollar trades and also USD Japanese yen trades in the same program. So this is really cool, I think. So, and this also, like the great benefit is that we saw before the US dollar Japanese yen test was actually profitable and the Euro US dollar trade was negative. So we should see the portfolio result of this now because we run all of these, both of these strategies in the same test run. So you can see now this gives us the combined performance of both of these markets. And yeah, I could also like copy this another time, like we could say 3 GBP USD, and then we could say we just copy everything. We also now execute the strategy 3 on init, on dinit, and on tick event, and this will give us another market. So you can see now it's really easy to just add multiple markets into our single program, so we can test all of these markets together in just one test run, and we get this portfolio performance, which is really great and also really, really important if you are trading portfolios. I think you should kind of do this to figure out if the correlation is strong, or if if it flattens the curve, if you use multiple strategies. So yeah, but yeah, you can see now we have these 3 charts. So we can also see like we see here GBP USD trades, and yeah, this will also change the whole outcome of the test run again, because now we are trading 3 symbols at the same time pretty much. So you can see now it should look different again. So yeah, and I think that's really cool. So GBP USD seems to be actually like quite good in this period, I think. Yeah, but I don't know. This is not about like curve fitting the backtest to get the best possible result. It's just to show you that now we can trade all of these symbols in the same test. And yeah, okay. So this is it for now, I think. I will do one more part for this series where I show you how to move all of this into a separate file. So it's easier to keep track of like when you have multiple different strategies, like not only the moving average strategy, but maybe also a RSI strategy, a stochastic strategy, and how you can keep them in different files. So you just have to include them, and it will make your code cleaner in the main file. Okay, so this is it for this tutorial. It's already long enough. And again, I know that I never talked about object-oriented programming. So this is something that I expected you to know if you watch this video and if you want to understand it. So this is why, as I said, it's for a little bit more advanced programmers. And if you want to learn more about this, check out the link in the video description. And yeah, in the end, there's nothing more to say then. Thanks for watching. Have a great time and good trades. See you in the next part. And yeah, bye-bye.